welcome back to another Stoneforge gaming video. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Temple of Rokan starter box that I finally got around to finishing painting up. I've been working on these guys off and on while I've been working on other projects, and I really wanted to take my time because it's only 5 models. Bushido is a pretty small skirmish size game, so I really wanted to make each one of the paint jobs look as good as I could. Not necessarily as good as I could. I could have taken everything a bit further, but in a reasonable amount of time. So for these first guys, they are rice farmers. I really wanted them to have that sort of dirty farmer sort of look, slightly darker skin tone. I wanted a lot of wear and tear on their gear, so I did a lot of that with, I actually didn't do that much dry brushing on these guys. Most of it is layering and then washes and glazes and things like that. So on the clothing and then on his weapons and stuff like that, I did a lot of layering, stuff like that, just to kind of bring out the highlights, but still kind of keep that grungy overall color tone, that sort of brown color tone that I'm really looking for. And this person is kind of the same, but they don't necessarily have the same sort of colors exactly, but it's in that same palette really. So I just kind of did a lot of layers on them, brought up those highlights. On their bases, I did a mixture of my sort of Borderlands style that I have been doing as of late, but I haven't actually I kind of have done a little bit here and there. I've added to each one to make them all a little bit different, but their overall tone on their bases kind of stays the same. And again, I wanted to do the same thing with their skin tones, with their overall tone, because even though, yes, these guys are perhaps, they're in the same warband, they're the Temple of Rokan, whatever you want to call it, they still should look like they belong in the same world. There's a little bit of verisimilitude you want to have, at least in my opinion, for these miniatures. For this girl, I decided that I wanted to paint her up because she has an ability, actually 2 different abilities. One is called Flow Like Water, and then I believe the other one is called Whirlwind. So I wanted to capture that in some of her movements, and then I did because I'm kind of doing an Avatar The Last Airbender style with these Temple of Rokan people, so I did that sort of blend going from the normal, from the blues in the skin tone all the way up to the almost whitish blue there. And then I did a lot of turquoises, again with a lot of layers, bringing up a lot of those colors on her clothing, and just kind of layered and layered and layered until I got that really sort of rich, almost silk looking color on her, I guess they'd be robes, her outfit really. For this guy, I actually did something a little bit interesting. I did almost because he has an ability called Iron Fist, and in my mind, it was almost like he had the ability to literally turn his hand or his skin into like iron and do like the Bruce Lee like 1-inch punch sort of deal. So I did it kind of up, like his one arm is slowly turning into like a Colossus style skin, where he does this sort of 1-inch punch and then, I don't know, knocks somebody through the side of a building or something like that. Just something kind of cool. For the skin tones, I did, for all of these, I did a lot of layering. You can see the different striations in his muscles that I picked out by using that layering process. And then for him, I actually did a couple of washes at the end to try to pull in an overall tone to his skin that I think turned out really well actually, and it looks like it's picking up on the camera pretty well actually. And again, I just wanted to have that very realistic skin tone, that very realistic overall tone to him, where yes, there are bright colors and there are sort of flashy colors, but they're nothing that is necessarily kind of out of the realm of reality to a certain extent. There are colors that you could very easily see. Now for this guy, one of the things that I immediately picked up on was the fact that I've seen this guy, and especially the thing that he's riding, most people paint this thing up like it's a turtle, and in fact it's actually much closer to a tortoise. And I actually, for a little bit, I was actually going for a marine biology degree. That failed. But anyways, the idea that a lot of people paint this thing up as just a regular old turtle, it doesn't really it doesn't really work. So I went for a tortoise, and by tortoise, because of the fact of the overall size, I painted it up most similarly to the Galapagos tortoise, which is the largest tortoise on the planet. And so I just decided to kind of go that route for the mount there, I guess, you, for lack of a better term. For the guy on top, I really wanted to go for that, like, just old wizened monk, almost like the guy from the Quentin Tarantino movie Kill Bill, like just the older, like, Asian, like, teacher. And I went for the bright yellows on the robe. Now I did leave some of the earthy tones in there so that it kind of had that brownish yellow tone, almost like a mustard color underneath, and going up to the brights on the highlights. And then for the white in the other part of his robes, I just kind of went with a bright white with some washes and a couple of layers. And I really like all the little animals that are just all over him. Like you've got the little gecko there, you've got the birds, you've got the little, it looks like some sort of lemur maybe that's climbing over his shoulder. I'm not really sure what that is exactly. On his backside, there's a butterfly. But again, I really just wanted to kind of capture that overall feel. And because Bushido is set in the Jawar Islands, I wanted to have that very much that sort of Asian mythological, like, I don't know if any of you guys have ever played the game Jade Empire. It's a phenomenal game, original 360 game, but I wanted to capture that overall sort of tone and feel in these models, and I think that really turned out really well. Overall, I just absolutely love the models from Bushido and GCT Studios. I think their stuff is great, and I am really looking forward to playing this game and getting into it a lot more. I hope you all have enjoyed taking a look at these, and hopefully it is giving you guys some ideas, and I hope you have all enjoyed this Stoneforge gaming video.